Forever, I'm reading comments and hearing some YouTubers say never to bring your Filipina to the West. They continually say that the Filipina will be very quickly westernized and become like the women you're trying to get away from. And some even go as far to say once you take your Filipina to your country, then it's game over and she'll leave you and find another, younger man to be with. And some guys, through fear of this happening, choose to go and live in the Philippines because they fear she may leave him if he takes her to his country. I believe the guys who think this way really need to take a look at themselves and the Filipina they're in a relationship with. And in this video, I'll tell you why you should bring your Filipina wife to the West to live. But quickly, if you're new to our community, then I offer a warm welcome and I trust you'll enjoy our extensive video library where we have over 600 videos to choose from in our various playlists. On this channel I talk everything about Filipina relationships from a foreign man's perspective who has dated and married a Filipina over the last 7 years. I also draw on my own experiences and what I've learnt from my own research and from talking to other Filipinos over the past few years. No doubt we all have different experiences and views, and I encourage for people to share these in a respectful way as we can all learn from one another. So feel free to subscribe and press the bell icon to get our future videos on a daily basis. Now I want to say straight up that no relationship is ever guaranteed. It doesn't matter where one lives or who they are married to. Simply, people may seemingly be compatible and do everything right, but the relationship still fails. And that's called life. And if anyone knew a surefire recipe to success, then you would be the richest person on the planet. All we can really do is our best to stack the odds in our favour. And I'll tell you straight up that I brought my Filipina wife to Australia to be with me 7 years ago. During that time, she's learnt much about Australia, which has really opened her eyes to how the world is. But during these 7 years, she hasn't changed the essence of who she really is. And she hasn't turned into some raging feminist or developed an attitude some may have in the West. Simply put, she's still very much the same Filipina I met 7 years ago. So this proves to me that one can bring a Filipina to the West and not have to worry about her changing or running off with other men. Now some may say that I was lucky, or they may still insist this will happen. But I say perhaps I was careful in the woman I chose to be my wife. Did I, as a man in his late 40s, choose a young 20-year-old Filipina? No, certainly not. Or did I look for an independent woman who was a little older and had some good life experience to know who she is and what she wants in life? Yes, absolutely I did. And did I take my time to really get to know her? Of course I did. And so I was very confident that she valued a serious relationship and is committed to making things work in the good and not so good times. So what I'm saying here is that if you find the right woman, no matter what country she comes from, you shouldn't be worried or scared that she'll change or leave you for someone else. If that's one's mindset, then why have a relationship with a woman in the first place? It simply makes no sense to live in fear. And really, that sort of thinking tells me that the man knows his shortcomings and fears that he isn't really enough for the much younger and beautiful Filipina. And right here, he's really showing his vulnerabilities, and so he thinks the only way to have a relationship with her is to move to be with her in the Philippines, where she'll be hidden away from younger foreign men. Now, if you stop and think about that for one moment, you'll see how absurd that thinking really is. And is that really a rational or adult way to be thinking about your new relationship? Really, one should feel confident after getting to know the woman that the relationship will stand many challenges and she'll not stray for any reason. I personally know of many people in the small town I live in Australia who have been very happily married to a Filipina for well over 20 years. And if these women change into raging feminists or ran off with other men, no, they haven't. In fact, they're some of the most devoted and loving wives one could ask for. And let me tell you, these type of relationships in the West are very common. It's just you don't hear about it so often because simply it's not as interesting or dramatic as a Filipina who runs off with another man in the USA or Australia. So if one was to choose an older Filipina in her 30s rather than a 20-year-old Filipina, she'll be far more settled, and the essence of who she is will not likely change just because she may move to another country. Of course, she may adapt somewhat to the ways of that country, but she'll still always have the qualities and beliefs that was instilled upon her throughout her life. So really, it comes down to who you choose to be with, whether you hold these fears or not. And yes, they are fears, as I say, because you probably know that this woman is way beyond your league, and that causes insecurities and sometimes paranoia that will remain even if you do move to the Philippines to hide her away. Rest assured, it's only a matter of time before your fears turn into jealousy and the relationship sours, and most likely will end as many foreign guys have found out when they move to the Philippines to be with a much younger woman. To me at least, that is no way to live a life or have a relationship. Do those guys really want such a young and changeable woman that bad that he's willing to have so much worry throughout the relationship? My view is that if you can't comfortably say that you can bring your Filipina to live with you in your country with no worries about her changing into a feminist or running off with some other guy, then you're really not ready or fit to be dating or marrying a Filipina. Now, just before all you older guys start jumping up and down, I do know that some of you choose to retire to the Philippines because of a lifestyle choice and not because you're there to hide your Filipina away. So you guys can just relax a little. I'm clearly talking about the ones who have insecurities that say never bring a Filipina to live in the West. And again, I say if you can't live happily in the West together, then most likely your relationship will be doomed before it even starts, no matter which country you're living in. So my best advice is to choose wisely at the start, and that will reduce the risk and put the odds more in your favour. But just remember, nothing in this world is ever guaranteed. So enjoy life and the best you can without fear, stress and worry. And if you're looking to date a Filipina, why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment to the Philippines' #1 dating site, where it's free to create an account and view thousands of Filipina profiles now. For more information around Filipina relationships, be sure to check out the card on screen now. Thanks for watching, stay safe and take care.